Hey yo everybody, and I'm just gonna dash right into the beloved sequel, Sonic the Hedgehog 2! Now most people would call this either the best or personal favorite title in the franchise, and honestly, I can see where they're coming from. Sonic 2 improved a lot on the foundation of Sonic 1 to the point where it's hard to go back to the original game with the additions and improvements that Sonic 2 brought. But before we begin with the game overview, I should probably talk about said improvements. Though, instead of tossing this like last time, we're just gonna gently put it in the console that's literally right next to the camera. What the fuck not? Okay, seriously, let's roll those improvements. Sonic has a new friend following him named Miles Prower, though with that serious case of helicopter ass he's usually referred to as Tails. He was made so that a second player could plug in a controller and play alongside Sonic for some two-player co-op. Though the player controlling Sonic will usually scroll Tails off the screen with his uncapped ground speed when using built-up momentum. Tails does have a few perks in that when he takes damage he doesn't drop rings, so he can cheese boss fights for player 1 by using invincibility frames to cut bosses down to size. You can also just die and drop back down to Sonic with no consequences, so go ham with experimentation. Sonic himself also comes with a new move called the Spin Dash, where it can be used by holding down while standing still and pressing any of the jump buttons to build the dash. Releasing down will bolt Sonic short distance, great for clearing steep hills or quickly gaining momentum through hills or loop-de-loops. As Sonic is curled into a ball with the Spin Dash, most enemy types can be taken out with this maneuver. Tails can also Spin Dash, but he doesn't get to use his flying ability that he uses to spawn back on screen until Sonic 3. Oh well, now we've covered the new player options, let's get to... And so we begin the trend of Sonic games, starting with a Green Hill-esque starting level. You'll be able to learn how to control Sonic's new momentum options in the Spin Dash and faster ground momentum here. Another cute thing about Emerald Hill is that there's virtually no bottomless pits at all here, save for one out-of-the-way pit. You won't be seeing this in an average playthrough though, so don't worry about it too much. Another change Sonic 2 brought is how you get Chaos Emeralds. You still need 50 rings to enter a special stage, but now you only need to pass a checkpoint to enter one. This provides many more chances to get all 7. One got added starting here. Emeralds. Blah. And the minigame you play is also different. Now starring Half Pipes. This is the series' first inclusion of the Half Pipes, and it won't be the last. I think it's just me, but there's something a little bit off with Sonic's collision with the rings needed to get past each phase. Also, whatever you do, don't play this alone with Tails following you. Tails can also collect rings, lose them, and the ring quota goes higher with 2 characters on the screen. As Tails likes to get hit on the bombs, you're not clearing these alone. If you want them all, play these with just one character. Back to Emerald Hill with Eggman returning with the car with the drill on it. He's really easy, as all he does is go across the screen and shoots the drill off on the last hit. No problem at all, but... Ah, shit! I forgot to mention that there's only 2 acts per zone now, making the pace far better. Probably should have mentioned that a little bit earlier. Shit! Probably the other most famous zone in Sonic history, we go straight to an industrial plant with questionable colored water. You can really feel Sonic's new speed here, with the long slopes even sending you off the screen. Act 1's pretty short, and I'm not even sure if there's a checkpoint to get access to a special stage in this act. I lied. There's totally one like right here in this image. It's Act 2 that's the meat of Chemical Plant, with plenty more tubes that can send you in 1 or 2 directions, and even the dreaded climbing section that fills with water. That section, by the way, is skippable if you know how to use a Spin Dash combined with the curved tubes right before the shutter. I'd say Chemical Plant's Eggman is even easier than Emerald Hill's boss, as you can land all 8 hits before he can even do anything. The poor thing. Did you like water? Well, we have even more water for you in Aquatic Ruin Zone, though you only have to deal with it if you happen to fall onto the bottom route. Spin Dash should make traversing the lower route more tolerable though. Just make sure Tails doesn't grab the water bubbles before you do. Also, watch out for those grounders popping out of the walls, all surprise motherfucker on you. This zone's Eggman boss decides to make some totems rise from the ground for him to hit the hammer and shoot arrows at you. Unfortunately for him, it's easy enough to jump on top of the totem when they start rising up to cheese this boss. If you fall off, you'll just have to use the arrows to get back up on top. Glitz, glamour, and barely any enemies await you in the flipper and bumper infested Casino Night Zone. Really, there's only one enemy type here. Its primary gimmick, outside of bouncing you all over the place, is the slot machines littered throughout both acts, where you have the chance to really max out your rank count if you really wanted to. Just watch out for the triple Eggmans that'll rob you blind if you're unlucky enough. Along with moving platforms and whatnot, we got the first actually challenging Eggman boss of the game, as he drops bombs while you're underneath him, and he can have a bit of a wonky hitbox when trying to jump at him. Probably should have mentioned this earlier, but there isn't a single awful color choice for every zone in the game, unlike Sonic 1. It's just really on display with Casino Night's background and stage color combination. Can I just say that Hilltop Zone's music kinda sounds like something someone would get high to? Alright, with that out of the way, Hilltop has a fair bit of waiting around. You have these seesaws back from Sonic 1, and these sections where more ground will rise up and you have to wait for it before you can get going. Another weird thing is the more plentiful invincibility boxes that I swear you could chain together. This act's boss is probably as pathetic as Chemical Plant, since you can get 8 hits before he can do anything. Unless you're playing the mobile version, where I believe Eggman can actually do something in that version. Though unfortunately, I cheese it because I have Supersonic in my mobile footage. Sorry! My personal favorite track in the game. God damn, do I love this beat. Anyway, what would look like an unremarkable stage in terms of obstacles and layout if it weren't for the inescapable pit of spikes in Act 2. Since I don't have a lot to talk about here, I'll take the time to show off what happens when you get all 7 Chaos Emeralds, as I finally finish that last special stage here. Fuck that thing. After feeling the colors, all you need to do is get 50 rings, jump, BAM! You just destroyed some kind of copyright barrier and gone supersonic. As supersonic, you're invincible, you go crazy fast, and even jump higher so you can just break some stage louts and skip certain parts of levels. As you can see, supersonic turns this normally okay boss into Swiss cheese. Expect that to be a thing whenever you can go super. If you have any pollution jokes, Oil Ocean might be the place for it as you slip and slide around through the zone. Also, you get seahorses popping shots at you. So rude, guys. And some kind of air propulsion mechanism shooting you all around the stage. By the way, it's possible to jump around in the oil at the bottom of the stage to get past certain parts of the stage. Just don't stay in too long or you'll fall and die. For our boss, we got Eggman in a submarine. You then got this thing jumping at you, then another one with a laser gun for a head and pops 3 shots at you. 2 cycles should be more than enough to send old Egghead packing. And now it's time for the zone nobody likes from this game. No one, myself included. Let's start with the badniks. Astrons are those star-shaped bastards that shoot those points out and can really inconvenience you in certain spots. Crab meats just have a weird hitbox that can mess you up if you time your jumping correctly or are placed in a really inconvenient spot, like this one asshole. And then there's slicers. Oh, did Sonic Team just love to throw them directly in your path, and what's worse is that they can throw their sides that can track you. But the worst part of all is this one fucking guy right here. I don't know how he spawned that way, but that was pretty fucking hilarious, all things considered. It was also decided that they pull a Sonic 1 and make this zone 3 acts long, because we didn't have enough to dislike about Metropolis already. The boss here is kind of interesting, what with the spinning capsules to protect Eggman, you have to jump at him just right to score your hit. Or you could do this instead. He actually takes 9 hits to KO, though that last hit is basically free because he decides to try and fire a basic laser shot at you, but he just sets up the last hit for you, so this part is just pathetically easy. I'm combining these two as they just lead into one another anyway. Sky Chase is an auto-scrolling stage where Sonic hangs out on top of his plane, the Tornado, as Tails pilots it to Wing Fortress. It just kinda goes by, you see the Wing Fortress fly by, and you're kinda just there. Tails gets shot down as you get close. No! And now you have to get through some harrowing platforming to get to the end. Or you can just take skips like this one, or that one. And before I get to the boss, Can I just say the name Eggman was there even back in 1992? Okay, boss time. I hope you like waiting for a laser device to open itself up while dodging the spiked bottoms of the platforms. When that's trashed, you try to catch up to Eggman only for him to get away, and Tails is back with a jet engine strapped to the bottom of the tornado, and you grab onto Eggman's ship as he docks into the... Take a moment and listen to this theme. Hope you liked that, because that's all you get to hear of it. Thanks, Death Egg, for only being 2 bosses and no rings again. Our first boss is our first robot Sonic clone, and boy does he hate the spin dash. It trashes him in no time at all. With that, you chase Eggman to his final machine, the Death Egg robot. This large thing takes 12 hits to take out instead of the usual 8. He'll walk towards you, fly up and try to land on you, and shoot his fists out at you. So, funny story, it took me the longest time to beat Sonic 2 because I hated the robot Sonic fight that much because he could do way more than what I showed. Anyway, you bop Eggman one final time and the whole damn place decides to blow up and, well, you bail. And that was Sonic 2. Definitely a much more enjoyable experience than the first game and well worth recommending for those who enjoy platformers. I know I enjoyed my 2 playthroughs for the main bulk of this video, but like the last game, I have to cover the mobile version as well. I have a fair bit more to talk about here, so cozy up and let's get to those other version differences again. Just like the mobile version of Sonic 1, Sonic 2 gets the animation updates and widescreen treatment. I actually recorded it right this time, woo! The special stages get an overhaul that makes them much easier on the eye as the half-pipe is now in 3D as Sonic runs across it. I swear though that Sonic feels a little more sluggish moving left and right here even though the frame rate stays consistent. It's also to see upcoming rings and bombs as they don't just pop in like the original version. I even got Supersonic in this version as well, just because the colors feel so right. Also, if you recall that pit of spikes I talked about in Mystic Cave Zone Act 2, it was changed up to contain a little secret called... Oh hey, it's that cut zone from development all those years ago. The art assets for this zone were used to make an all-new level, which is kinda neat, even using the cut badniks as well. It's a pretty fun stage with a unique boss for this version of the game. Eggman will just fly out of your reach and drop mines on you by playing his trombone. He'll even drop a bigger mine, which you have to guide under him when it detonates and sends a column of water to stung Eggman to get your hits in. When you crack this egg, you get dropped right off at Oil Ocean Zone, so don't worry. And you know, I hadn't actually seen the 100% ending for mobile Sonic 2, and those bastards teasing Sonic 3! You bastards.